Hello and welcome to the 33rd Annual Hancock Sports Hall of Fame Induction Program. I'm your host, Dan Connick, and tonight we're going to be honoring some of Hancock County's greatest athletes. The Hancock Sports Hall of Fame recognizes men and women from the Hancock County area that have excelled in the field of athletics from every possible event, from football to volleyball, basketball to golf and track and field. These men and women have stood out amongst their peers. And in the great state of Ohio, there is a running list of tremendous athletes. And for the past 33 years, some of the best have been from right here in Hancock County. Our first inductee into the 2017 class of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame is Meanda Watts. Had an amazing career at the University of Findlay. Before that, an accomplished career as a high school basketball player at Elida, and lived up to the role of student athlete at her time at the University of Findlay. Not only will you find her name littered around the record books, but also on a couple of degrees from the University of Findlay. Found her way to a Bachelor of Arts in Education, as well as a master's degree from the University of Findlay, accomplishing it all with a 3.8 grade point average. Also moved out west and has dabbled into modeling and acting in her career outside of the hardwood. We're very happy to have her here in the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame, and we'll send it to the president of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame, Chris Miller.
And welcome to the 2017 Hancock Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And I'm with, in my humble opinion, the best female basketball player to ever lace up the tennis shoes at the University of Findlay, Meanda Watts. Meanda, congratulations. But let's go back to growing up in Elida. And what are your first memories of getting involved in sports? Who were the early influences in your life getting into athletics?
Well, everybody on the Ohio State basketball team, I thought I was going to marry each and every one of them. But actually, no, I started out watching my dad play as a young daughter and never really got into the game. And back then, you couldn't even play a sport until you were in the 6th grade. So I finally got involved in that, and just things took off from there.
And well, you mentioned Ohio State, but who were some of the athletes you admired as a little girl?
Jimmy Jackson, Treg Lee, Jamal Brown.
You had a great career at Elida. You guys had a really good team. I know it was a little heartbreaking, though. You went undefeated and made it to the state finals, only to lose that game. But talk a little bit about life in Elida and growing up and playing ball.
Oh, it was great. And actually, up until that point, I was in Zanesville, Ohio. So we got transferred a lot with my dad being in the State Highway Patrol. And so when I got to Elida, I didn't realize how important basketball was and how big it was, and sold out stadiums and things like that. So when you're involved in that, you become involved in that. So it elevated a level of game and play, and just great camaraderie there.
And how did you end up at the University of Findlay?
Well, it wasn't too far from Elida, so
Right.
I actually got a scholarship for volleyball and track first at the university and then basketball, but I wanted to play basketball, so.
So basketball was your first love?
Yes, it was.
Well, I was looking at the record books. You topped the Oiler record books in 16 categories, almost 1,900 points, 4 rebounds short of 1,000.
I know.
And
I know.
one more game. Over 21 points a game one season. You were a Kodak All-American as a senior. What sort of records stand out to you?
I guess to me, points scored. I feel like coming in, I wasn't the biggest scorer, but towards my senior year, I became one of the point people on the team. So I would say the points were awesome.
Well, talk about those great teams you played on at Findlay. 2 trips to the NAIA Final Four. Those were sort of the glory years of Oiler basketball. What are your
Yes.
fondest memories of the Oilers?
Oh man, just traveling, working hard, and having fun. A lot of people are very serious about sports, and I was very blessed to be in an organization where I could actually have fun and do it. Sometimes when you're in college too, you get scholarships, it becomes a job, and I never felt that way, ever.
Now, since the University of Findlay, you've gone on, done some modeling, some
Yes, I have.
some acting.
Yeah.
Talk about that life.
Oh, that life was wonderful. I got to see a whole nother side of the world coming from a small town, Elida, Zanesville, Columbus, and so got to meet a lot of interesting people and learn a lot about cameras and people and staging, and it was a great experience.
Can we go to the video store and watch your movies?
You could. I have a video game out there too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Myanda, just finally then, what's it feel like to be inducted into the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame where you had so much success here in good old Findlay?
It just feels amazing. It's so good to be home and to be recognized from such an organization. It's a blessing. I'm truly honored to be recognized as that, and I'll wear it proud.
All right. Well, congratulations. It is well deserved.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Yes, you too.
All right. That is Myanda Watts. As I said, probably the best female basketball player in the history of the University of Findlay.
Thank you.
Our next inductee into the 2017 class is Terry Grose, 1965 graduate of Macomb High School, where he excelled in multiple different sports, a star on the football field, basketball court, as well as the baseball diamond. But it was the golf course where he found his most success, excelling there, playing for the Bowling Green Falcons, and continued onward after his college career to an impressive amateur one as well. And after his official playing days were over, he was able to go on and do more for the great game of golf. He co-founded the nationally recognized All-Star Junior Tour and also served as the Northwest Ohio Director of Ohio Public Links. Here's Chris Miller with Terry Grose.
Thanks, and back at the 2017 induction ceremony for the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame, joined now by Terry Grose. And well, Terry, you grew up in Macomb, so let's start there. What was life like growing up in Northwest Ohio and good old Macomb?
I was fortunate to grow up in a nice community like Macomb with a 9-hole golf course handy and teams that were baseball teams. People wanted to play baseball, and it was great.
Now, what got you started in sports? Who were sort of your early influences in athletics?
I guess just the kids that were a little bit older than I was that played. We used to have a big yard at our place, and the kids would come down to play baseball, and then all of a sudden a couple of the older kids weren't there, and they were out caddying at the golf course, and they told me I ought to come out, so I went out there.
So you just went out golfing on a whim one day, and look where it
Well,
got you.
I was just caddying, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we got to play on Mondays for nothing, and as I got older, Friday was a slow day too, so I'd save up my money and pay on Friday to play, and so I was playing Monday and Friday, and then I got a job working at the golf course, cleaning clubs and restrooms and stuff, and so I got to play every day, and I got to work on the golf course, and again, got to play all the time, so. I made best use of it.
Okay, well, we do want to talk about your golf career, but you had a pretty good athletic career at Macomb High, too. You quarterbacked an undefeated football team, point guard on a couple of undefeated basketball teams, and I believe you took the baseball team to 4 straight district finals. So talk about your fondest memories of playing those sports at Macomb.
Well, we had some really, really good baseball teams, and our basketball teams were a real small team. We only had one person over 6 foot. But we had some guys that could shoot and play some good defense. On our football team, we had some good coaching, and that led us to undefeated season.
Well, what sport was your first love?
My first love, baseball.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Well, I think you told me, too, at last night, the little get-together, that you actually planned to go to Bowling Green to play baseball initially. Unfortunately, I guess that it worked out good for you, but that didn't happen. Tell us that story.
I had a chance to go there to play baseball, and I was playing softball in the summer, and I hurt my foot sliding into second base, and was on crutches right when they was having tryouts. So when spring came, I just played on the golf team.
Well, tell us then about your golf career at BG. What are your memories of playing for the Falcons?
Well, I have one memory I get a little teary thinking about, but we had a coach there named Forrest Creason, who the golf course was named after, and found out his wife had cancer. And we were going to Muncie, Indiana to play a tournament down there with 12 or 13 schools, I forget. And I told him I was going to win the tournament, and I did. So pretty proud of that.
Very nice. And you've had a great career, won over 60 tournament titles, set 7 course records, played in several Ohio amateurs during your career, won some professional tournaments as well. What sort of highlights stand out in your mind of your golf career?
Well, I guess the proudest thing is playing in the U.S. Amateur at Inverness in 1973. And I played the British Amateur champion and beat him my first round. And then I lost the second round to the next year, the Ohio Amateur champion. So that was a fun time.
So you got to rub elbows at times with some pretty big name golfers over the years.
I did, yeah.
And well, Terry, just finally, what's it mean to you to be inducted into the Hancock Sports Hall of
This is
Fame?
a great honor.
All right,
I'm really proud of that.
All right, well, congratulations. It's well-deserved. And that is Terry Grose, another member of the 2017 class of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame.
Our next inductee into the 2017 class is Cathy Morris, a Van Loo Wildcat. She had a stellar career on the hardwood playing basketball as a Wildcat up on that wonderful stage. Continued off to Muskingum College, where the accolades followed her as well, as she was named the Ohio Athletic Conference first team for 4 straight years. Ended up her career with degrees in history, physical education, health, and sports science before settling into her established career, where she made her way across the border up north to Adrian College, where she has been the head basketball coach of the women's team for the Adrian Bulldogs for the last 25 years. Already a member of the Muskingum College Hall of Fame, we are very happy to have her as a member of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame. We'll send it now to Chris with Cathy Morris.
And back at the 2017 banquet induction ceremony for the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame, and joined now by Cathy Morris, but a lot of people will remember her as Cathy Lee from Van Loo. And well, Cathy, congratulations, but talk a little bit about life growing up in Van Loo and the small town values that carried you through life that you picked up in good old Van Loo.
Yeah, I don't think that things have changed too much in Van Loo, but yes, it was a small town. You knew everybody by first name and last name, and got to know everybody extremely well, a close-knit community.
And well, who do you credit with, getting you involved in sports? What are your first memories of picking up a ball and playing?
There wasn't many things to do in the town of Van Loo, so I think that was just a common rule of thumb that with the cousins or my brothers, friends that lived down the road, just to pick up a ball and Back then, didn't have the technology that we do today. That was the thing to do.
And basketball, was that your first love
Basketball
then?
was that thing to do.
That was it.
Yeah.
Well, you had a great career at Van Loo, playing up on the stage out there. It's a great place still. You set records, 43 points in a game, almost 1,500 career points, 700 rebounds. What are your fondest memories, your proudest accomplishments as a Wildcat?
Just everybody being a team, being a community, being a family. Certainly could have done those things without my friends and my teammates back then. Had some great coaches along the way, great teachers along the way, just made everything fun.
And well, of course, your brother had coached, and a lot of family coaching, so it's in the blood, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little bit in the bloodline.
Well, what drove you to go to Muskegon, and when did you start thinking you might want to make this a career as a coach?
You know, it took me forever to make that decision. My parents and myself have visited multiple schools, big, middle of the road, and then some smaller schools. And I guess deep down, I just wanted a place that felt like home. And after visiting their campus, it felt like home to me. So that kind of ruled out for me some of the larger schools. I just didn't want to feel like a number coming from a small community. And that definitely made up my mind along the way. And at the time, they had a great basketball program. So I definitely had some people to push me along the way, which helped.
And what drove you into coaching? When did you start thinking that was going to be your career?
You know what did it for me? Going into education, I knew that coaching kind of went hand in hand with that, but I student taught my last semester, and after I student taught, I just thought I can't do this. I wanted to be on the move more, on the go more hands-on with students, and I kind of liked the college atmosphere. So I started my master's while I was there, and just one thing led to another with connections along the way, and here I am today.
And well, you had a great career at Muskegon too. I was looking over some of that, all conference, all 4 years, went to the Elite Eight, so a great career. Talk about your time there.
Again, a lot of great people along the way, coaches that definitely pushed us, a lot of stability, and kids that really wanted to be there and wanted to win. And I think that part, even prior to me going to Muskingum and being recruited by them, was something that really pulled me in along the way because I wanted to win. I think that we were all competitors at the time. And I just had a great group of people around me, great group of people to work with. We were hard to play against because we were so balanced. And it wasn't just me, it was other people on our team.
And then how did you end up as the head coach at Adrian College? And obviously you like it because you've been there
That's
25 years.
That's a long story. Really didn't know which direction I was going. I knew that I'd finished my master's, and I just thought I would start to apply to some different positions just to see what would happen. So I did a few interviews along the way, and some of the fits just didn't seem quite right to me at some bigger schools. That position opened up extremely late in the year, after August 1st sometime. So I thought, well, I'll just go back up and interview, and it was closer to home at the time. Definitely wanted to come back and be closer to my family, and it worked out. Adrian is very, very similar to Muskingum, and that's why I'm still there.
You still love it.
Yeah.
And well, you were in the Adrian College Hall of Fame, and tonight you're going to go into your hometown, your home county Hall of Fame. What does it mean to you to be a member of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame?
It's great. It's a great honor. Great people. A rich history of people that have a passion for sports. And I just feel very, very blessed to be a part of it.
All right, that is Cathy Lee Morris, originally from Van Loo and now a member of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame.
The next inductee into the 2017 class is Mike Dillon, a proud graduate of Findlay High School. He was able to find success on the football field and basketball court, but his true forte in high school was in track and field, particularly the discus throw, where he still holds records at Findlay High School for his discus throws and even ended up with a state title championship. After his career at Findlay High School, he continued on to bigger and better things in football, where he joined Purdue University as a member of their football program. Mike Dillon, inductee into the 2017 class of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame. He sits down with Chris Miller.
Thanks, and I'm joined now by Mike Dillon, another inductee into the 2017 class of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame, a former Findlay Trojan great. And well, Mike, talk about your days growing up in good old Findlay, Ohio on Orchard Lane. You had a couple of brothers who were great athletes too, so what was life like growing up for Mike Dillon in Findlay?
Well, I'll tell you, every day was a competition for something in my family. And we had 5 kids. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. And it was, first thing in the morning, you left the house, in the summer times, and you were always doing something, playing baseball or, football. It was always a competition, and I think that's, kind of what had driven me.
Well,
at
Mike,
that part.
who were some of the people that influenced you sports-wise to get into sports, and then who were some of the athletes maybe that you admired growing up?
Well, Findlay had great athletes before me, and it was in, kind of going through those ages. Andy Schramm and my oldest brother Tim played football. They were great. They had a great team. They played Moeller in the playoffs, and just to follow those people, and see how hard they worked, and see what it led to. It kind of always made me want to kind of get to that next step too. Then lead our team to the state playoffs, and didn't happen, but we were close.
Now, was football your first love then? Or?
I think the discus was my truly first love. My oldest brother made it to the state, and he was 7 years older than me. So there's a big kind of age gap when he was in high school, and my brother Pat and I were, we were just a lot younger. And he'd bring his high school discuses home, and we'd stand on our back patio and see who could throw them over my mom's garden in the backyard. And she would get mad, and I think that was when we decided, both of us, that, man, this is great. We love doing this. So.
Well, Mike, you had a lot of success. A 1983 discus champ, still hold this Trojan School record. You and your brothers were both, all 3 of you were Buckeye Conference champs. So what stands out to you about your track career?
I always think of it this way. My senior year, I was throwing right around 200 feet. And all week long, it was great weather. And we'd get to Saturday and we'd go to relays, and it would pour. I mean, thunderstorms. And I look back at that and I think, I never had a really good chance my senior year to win the state again, as I did as a junior. And I always look back and think, just one really good day.
Well, Mike, you were a tough-nosed football player too, all-Ohio offense and defense, played in the North-South All-Star game. What are your fondest memories of playing on the gridiron, old Donnell Stadium?
I think my fondest memory was my junior year. We were playing Princeton, and they were on the 2-yard line, I think, and they had the 2 fastest kids on the state, their quarterback and their running back. They were the first and second as their junior year runners in the 100 meters. And the quarterback pitched the ball to the running back, and I kind of streaked through and grabbed the ball in midair and went 97 yards.
Yeah.
And I think that, and we missed the extra point, so we went into halftime at 7-6, and they were the #1 team in the country, I think. It was either them or Moeller. At one point, they were both great teams. And I thought, all right, we have a chance here. And we went out in the second half and found out why they were the #2 team in the country.
Then, Mike, how you ended up at Purdue? How'd that come about?
We were playing Zanesville my senior year, and a coach from Purdue, Joe Tiller, was there to watch 2 kids from Zanesville. In the first play of the game, their running back, who Purdue was looking at, I hit and knocked him out of the game. He came up the middle, made him fumble, knocked him out of the game. So their other kid that he was looking at was a linebacker. Well, he came blitzing in, and we ran a 31, and I hit him, knocked his helmet off, went in for a touchdown, and Joe Tiller was standing on the track next to my dad, and he goes, well, that was a waste of time coming down here. And my dad said, well, who are you looking at? And he told him, and he said, well, why don't you look at the kid that just ran him over? And that started. He would come to Findlay. I'd be at track, or I'd be at some practice, and he would go out with my parents, and I'd get a note when I came home, dinner's in the oven with Coach Tiller. And,
So
they loved
your
him.
Parents, not you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he was so much like my dad, and he just was a great guy. And that's how that all started.
Yeah. Well, Mike, you had a great career. I've enjoyed reading about your career, but what's it mean to you to go into your hometown Hall of Fame now?
It's just a tremendous honor, and I'm very humbled by it because of the people that are already have been enshrined. And it's just getting to this day. I kind of stayed busy. I had 2 boys and gone every minute. But it's finally hitting me how great this honor is.
All right. Well, hey, Mike, it's very well deserved. Congratulations and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, that's Mike Dillon, former Findlay Trojan great and now a member of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame.
This year's next inductee needs no introduction, a lock for the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame. It's Ben Roethlisberger, graduate of Findlay High School, where he was able to excel in not only football, but basketball as well. An All-Ohio selection for the Trojans in the hardwood, but obviously football is where he found his most success. Ended up down I-75 at the University of Miami of Ohio, where he starred for the Red Hawks in the heyday of the Mid-American Conference. He completed 65% of his passes with the Red Hawks, 80 touchdowns, before obviously being drafted first round by the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he has spent the entirety of his career, amassing 2 Super Bowl championships and 1 MVP, and now can add to his illustrious NFL career the title of Hancock Sports Hall of Fame inductee. He's with Chris Miller.
And we're back at the 2017 Hancock Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet, and you'll know this guy, Ben Roethlisberger. Ben, congrats on getting into the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame. But Ben, let's go back to your early days in Findlay. What are your fondest memories of running the streets of Findlay?
Well, it was, never forget being so close to Donnell and walking to middle school, and just kind of the start of it all. I think our senior class was special, and everyone knew how special it was going to be, and they couldn't wait till that Donnell Central and Glenwood connection all got together. So just growing up and playing ball, whether it was basketball behind First Presbyterian or football, baseball, whatever it may be, just a lot of fun sports memories here.
Now, talk about just your early involvement in sports. I know your parents were big getting you involved, and who were some of the people you looked up to as an athlete?
My dad. It was that's some of my earliest memories is out shooting hoops, playing baseball, football, whatever it may be, kicking a soccer ball, just literally whatever it was. And I even spent a lot of time with my mom outside doing the same thing. I don't want to exclude her and think it was all my dad, because there was a lot of times that he was working and I spent time with her. So I probably owe a lot of my success to her as well.
Ben, most kids, grow up dreaming of playing in the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball. When did you start to really think, hey, this might really happen for me?
Well, I was the same way. I grew up probably doing all 3 as well in the front yard. Never really thinking it's a reality, but just always enjoying. I think dreaming for kids is an amazing thing. It's fun to do. My son has an amazing imagination as it is right now too. So being able to dream is what everybody should have and have big dreams and really reach for them. And I think even though I had some success in high school, it still wasn't really a reality, because you still got a lot to football to go, and you know what the statistics are. The amount of little league football players, if you will, 1 million, and only 1 to 0.5% make it to the NFL. So you know that, and then get to Miami and we had some success. And I don't think it was till maybe my second to last or my last year when you start watching ESPN, they start talking about you, agents start calling. That's when it probably kind of becomes a reality.
And Ben, of all the great games you played in, the great plays, you mentioned that Napoleon game. I still remember that was before social media, so a lot of people had left the stadium that night, and they couldn't pick up the radio that far away, so a lot of guys that left early didn't know till the next day, maybe picking up the paper that you guys had won that game. Was it Akron, I think, your rookie year at Miami with the Hail Mary to win that one? Of course, that great drive and the pass to Santonio Holmes. What are some of the plays that stand out in your mind over your career?
Yeah, anytime that you have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, it's special. But to be able to have a hand in throwing a touchdown pass that wins it is exactly what I was doing when I was a kid out on Woodley Terrace on the streets. You know, there's a curb there, and I'll never forget that was always the sideline, and always catching the ball. I was Joe Montana throwing it to Jerry Rice, and so to have that opportunity to win a Super Bowl by throwing it, it just is so special. And I hope that someday some kid is somewhere was being me in San Antonio and doing the same thing, and they'll have a chance to win a Super Bowl too.
And I know, Ben, you're in the Miami Hall of Fame tonight. You go into Hancock, but I'm pretty sure someday you're going to be enshrined in Canton. Do you ever think about that?
No, not yet. Those are thoughts for when I'm done. You know, I feel like I've still got some story left to write, and I'm going to do my best to write those in the best way possible. And I'll think about that amazing honor if it does come when I'm done.
Well, I know, Ben, you had talked a little bit about maybe hanging it up. I know taking a few hits in your day,
Right.
Tough guy standing in the pocket back there. But what ultimately drove you to continue to play, and how long do you expect to keep playing?
I love the sport. I love my teammates. I love being out there. It's just the competition drives you, you know. And I do have to take time, though. I've been doing this a long time, since 14 years. And I've got an amazing family, a beautiful wife, and great kids that, you know, you have to take into consideration before you go out there and throw your body out there to war every Sunday. So, you know, I'm not getting any younger, so I wanted to take some time and consider all things and talk to her a lot about it and pray about it. And, you know, I never lost the love for it. I just wanted to make sure it was right for all of us to keep going, and we felt it was.
Well, we're glad you're still playing, and boy, such a special night for you and the Roethlisberger family. Your sister, who was a great athlete, is going in as well. I know we have a lot of father-sons in the hall, but I believe you are the first siblings to go in, and you're going in the same class, so that makes tonight even more special.
That's the only way I'd want to go in. I joke I'm getting in because she got in. You know, she's getting me in there. It's just a lot of fun. It makes it that much more special to be able to go in with such a phenomenal athlete and an even better person. I'm just so proud to call her my sister, and it's just awesome to be able to go in together.
All right, well, Ben, thanks for your time. Congrats on tonight. Obviously very well-deserved, and we'll look forward to seeing your plaque and hopefully some of that great memorabilia from you up at Legend. So thanks for your time.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
All right, Ben Roethlisberger, another one of the new members of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame.
Our final inductee into the 2017 class is Carlee Roethlisberger, younger sister of Ben Roethlisberger. She found success as a Trojan on the hardwood as well, where she finished her career with records all across the Trojan record books. Most points scored in a career, most points scored in a season for the Trojans. But just like her brother, she found her success away from the game of basketball. She went on to play volleyball for the Trojans as well, averaging 3.7 kills per set and 90 blocks as a senior at Findlay High School. She went on to a long career at Oklahoma University. Here's our final inductee of the 2017 class with Chris Miller, Carlee Roethlisberger.
And we're back with the 2017 class of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame, and joined now by Carlee Roethlisberger, Ben's little sister, but she's had quite an athletic career herself. Carlee, what are your fondest memories of Findlay, Ohio, growing up with a big brother who was very athletic, parents who were very into sports, and your early indoctrination into athletics?
I think the biggest thing was just we were always doing something. Seeing Ben always playing sports of every kind, whether it was frisbee golf or hitting the golf ball around in the front yard, shooting hoops, kicking the soccer ball, riding bikes around town. It was wonderful to be able to do that around the town of Findlay and all the people, but we're just always doing something. So it was easy to get going into sports. It was nothing hard to do.
Well, I remember, I know that you were raised into competition. I remember coming to your house just before Ben got drafted and to interview you and your parents, and you were talking about how competitive it was at cards or dominoes or anything. So you grew up competing.
Nothing was just a friendly game. It was always a competition.
Now, as a young kid, other than your parents and Ben, who were some of the athletes you looked up to?
I was a big soccer girl. So Mia Hamm was one of my biggest ones, and Lisa Leslie in the WNBA. Those were the big ones growing up that, you know, there's not too many women's sports that are televised, I feel like, growing up, but to be able to watch those women and the role models that they were was a big thing for me.
Now, you Let's go back to your days at Findlay High. Of course, had a great volleyball career. What I remember, of course, was the drive to the Final Four down in Columbus. I remember the gym just being packed for the Marion Harding game, the whiteout, and then at the University of Findlay too. They were packed for that district tournament game. What are your fondest memories of playing at Findlay High?
It was always so fun growing up seeing all of the crowds at Ben's games, and you didn't ever see that at the girls' games. So to be able to experience that, especially my senior year, to have the support of the town and of our student section, it was awesome. And then to be able to win those games and keep moving on, it was really fun.
Now, you had a lot of offers to play sports in college. How did you end up at Oklahoma?
It was just a family atmosphere. Took a lot of visits, mostly for volleyball, and Oklahoma was kind of a last-minute thing. Coach Connie got me a couple of visits with them, and I went, and as soon as we stepped on campus, they just welcomed us with open arms. The Paris twins were really big at that time, and they stayed with us the whole day, and they didn't have to. So it was just something special, and we had the opportunity to be something great, but you weren't a UConn or a Tennessee where it was just a given. You know, every team goes to the Final Four or wins a national championship, but to be a team that did something special and could be remembered was that opportunity.
Of course, the Paris twins had a dad who played in the NFL, and your big brother's playing in the NFL, so that was unique. But you had a lot of success there too. Talk about playing in the Final Four.
It was incredible. I wouldn't trade it for the world to be able to go there. Even though we didn't make it to the final rounds, it was an incredible experience just to be there. You kind of take it for granted sometimes when you get to go twice, that it's something that people only dream of. But to be able to go 2 times in a row with amazing women by my side going to the Final Four was an incredible experience.
And then you finish up your basketball career and ended up playing volleyball for a year. How did that come about?
The volleyball coaches always joked with me, you know, you have a 5th year, you can come and play. And I didn't think it was something I would seriously consider, but as the time came around, I was like, you know what, I don't think I'm quite done yet, so let's give it a shot. And it was so fun. It was a completely different experience going from basketball where you're running and always doing crazy stuff to just being able to step into the gym. There was no expectation from anybody. I could just be myself, play free, and I had an incredible time.
And you're still playing volleyball today. Talk about that.
I am. I've moved out to California and in pursuit of the AVP Tour. So trying to play in the qualifying rounds. And
Pro Beach.
Pro Beach,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So getting doubles, I have a partner, and going to try my hand at that for a couple years, see how it goes.
That's pretty competitive, you've told us.
It is. It's crazy. These girls start from, you know, when they're 6 or 7 years old, just going and messing around on the beach. It's something they do on the weekends for fun, and now that's become a college sport. It's getting even more competitive out there because people can get scholarships for it. So it's fun to see and fun to be around. I got to play under Butch May at a community college last year, so kind of learn the ropes, and to be able to learn under someone as amazing as him has been an awesome experience. I've definitely been blessed. God's opened up tons of doors.
Going in with your big brother is a big thrill for you and your family. What's it mean to you to go into the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame?
It's a huge honor to be able to see Ben and everything that he's accomplished. You know, and I did these things, but it's me. You know, Ben's always been in the spotlight, and I've just done my thing as hard as I can. And so to be able to go in with him, I've always looked up to him. It's a special thing. 7 years apart, you don't get to do many things together. So this is going to be a really special night.
All right, and that is one of the best female athletes ever in the history of Findlay and Hancock County, one of the best athletes, Carlee Roethlisberger, another member of the 2017 class of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame. Back to Dan.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for watching. For more information about the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame, you can visit their website at hancockhof.com. You can learn more about the history of the Sports Hall of Fame, review past classes, and also nominate a potential inductee. The Hancock Sports Hall of Fame is located at Legends Steakhouse and Bar and Grill in Findlay. You can review some of the memorabilia left by the many athletes of the past 33 classes of the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame. For Chris Miller, I'm Dan Kottnick saying so long and thank you from the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame.